Okay. Okay, yeah, good evening, um, or whatever it is, wherever you might be. Yeah, okay, well, what's being suggested here then, is totally energetic, one could say. So, of course, there is no message. There is no theory, there is no teaching, um, no path, no method, none of these things. There is nothing that could be said, so to speak, and no one that could say it. So, yeah, what appears to be happening, one could say, is boundless energy. So, in a sense, one could say the suggestion is that all there is boundless energy. So, I mean, really, as I say, there is nothing to say. So, this these meetings, this so-called message, just seems to come as a response, one could say, um, to this so-called separate experience, which seems to feel very real at the time, so to speak. It feels as if I am, and I am a contracted energy, really. This is how it seems. And so I am in the body, I am the body. I am sitting on this Zoom call, listening to Izzy. This is me. And this would be, yeah, the dream, so to speak. So, yeah, as I say, all there is boundless energy. So the suggestion, so to speak, is just that this so-called contraction just doesn't even happen. So, of course, it's not even that there is a contraction and that then explodes into boundless energy. No, the suggestion, so to speak, is that there already just is boundless energy. And that actually, this so called lived sense of me is just totally not happening. It's just not even a thing. So, in that sense, there's not even an actual illusion. There's not even an illusion of me that could then collapse. With this so-called death, this so-called collapse, it's just revealed, one could say, that actually there never was anyone. And that there just never has been this contraction, this me, this person. Anyone is welcome to comment, to say hello, or just ask a question. Yeah, it's very relaxed. There's no right or wrong, of course. Should be able to you should be able to unmute yourselves, I think. Yeah. If that's a problem, we'll change it.
Hi, Izzy.
Hello.
Hi. Um, yeah, I'd like to ask a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Um, yeah, I just feel so much that, yeah, like it just feels like there is something, like it feels like there is a contraction in the head. Like that's what it feels like. That's my experience in this moment. Like there's been a lot of emotional stuff happening for me this week, and I notice when that's happening, I need to do the like hold myself in that instead of doing the inquiry. That's what works for me. But when I remember how I felt a couple of weeks ago and I was really stable and really in this, it still felt like in meditation, I don't know, it feels like in my experience in meditation sometimes at the moment, even though I know you can't practice this, is that it's almost like there's this openness that comes, or it's like I'm letting go of everything until it feels like a spaciousness is there, but then it doesn't stay. Like something will like, you know what I mean? And then it feels like I am in this head again, and that's where I'm perceiving things from here, like looking, experiencing thoughts. And I just want to experience less of that. So how what to do?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course, the suggestion is just that there is already no experience. So, however, of course, like you say, when there seems to be this lived sense that this is me, then this just feels totally real. And really what the person seems to always be doing is looking for the escape. So yeah, I mean, meditation is a common one, trying to calm the thoughts or become awareness, become this spaciousness, or abide as this spaciousness, or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like you say, there's that just can't be kept up. This
Mm.
is the constant effort of the person would be, I don't know, it could be that, or it could be to stay present or whatever, or to, I mean, really, the person is just always trying to um, escape, but also survive by doing this. So it's this funny loop, it seems, of desperately wanting to escape, but also that seems to be what it most fears.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's always looking for an approach. So what if I just watch the thoughts, or what if I become present with the emotions, or whatever. Yeah, so it's just this constant game of trying to stay on top. And the suggestion, so to speak, is just that uh, I mean, there just is no one already, so staying on top or not is just already impossible. There just seems to be an apparent body that just has emotions, apparently, or thoughts or whatever, just seem to be what appear to be happening, but not to anyone.
Hey Izzy.
Hiya.
Hi, if I might ask a question. You say there that this contracted sense of self has never it's never happened. And I guess if there isn't there isn't the person, then yeah, how could it happen? Is that yeah, okay. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean I mean these, well, one can't even say they're not two, they're the same thing, because neither happen. But there isn't, so there doesn't seem to be this person and then this contraction, this sense of being me seems to be this energetic contraction, which, as you say, there are neither. I mean, yeah, or there isn't that, whatever that experience seems to be. I mean, call it what you like, contraction, person, me, whatever, but energetically it seems to be this: I'm in the body, this is me.
hmm Right. Okay. I wasn't clear about what kind of I was. I love your laugh, by the way. It's very infectious.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Uh, okay, in the chat. Are Karen and Judith two different bodies, or my mind is not working well? I don't know what that means.
Hey, Izzy, me again. Um, I did listen to your chat with Era actually earlier today. I'd listened to it probably a number of months back, and I it completely went over my head to the point. What are these two on about?
Oh.
Um, um, but anyways, I listened to it again today, and yeah, it was nice to listen to. But I just recall what you, the character, said that when you were you, there was a period. I don't know whether it's going from the awakening to the I don't know loose term enlightened. There was a lot of pain. It was it wasn't straightforward, and then it was just this whoosh. Whoosh moment. Um, I don't know if that's the word you used, to be
Well,
honest.
it's probably, I mean, yeah, it's just totally indescribable, but I quite like that word.
I was actually curious as to what there's stuff going on with this character, right? Whatever, it's all a story. But what? Just curious, what was? You probably get asked this silly question all the time. What was the wish moment? The wish moment.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, this is totally indescribable.
Mm,
So there is no answer to that,
mm,
because it didn't actually happen.
yeah.
And I mean, this isn't sort of, I mean, to the person, this would probably be being said, so to speak, to come across as
Yeah.
abuse, because, of course, the person, the so-called person, just lives in moments and happenings, so to
Mm,
speak.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
this so-called death just has to be another moment or a thing or a happening, and that it actually isn't, of course, is totally inconceivable. Which it is, totally inconceivable. But actually, of course, there's also no one who's trying to conceive it. This sense of, what's Izzy talking about? I must work that out. Is this sense of being someone?
Yeah.
I mean, energetically, one could, like you say, the whoosh, one could, I mean, it's indescribable, but to use words such as explosion or death or just collapse, I mean, yeah, as I say, it can't be described. And
because it's something that was never there, that
exactly
is no longer.
Exactly. I mean, seen from the person, one could say the person would imagine this to be this contraction exploding into boundlessness. But this apparent death is just that there already is boundlessness. So yeah, like you say, it just can't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the most underwhelming non-happening, and that just can't even be conceived of.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing that I'm kind of grappling with. How would a no one know that there were a no one?
Oh, well, exactly. No one does. I mean, this would be the next thing for the person would be, I mean, for example, sort of after these so-called awakenings, I would perhaps feel less like me, and I would perhaps be questioning, oh, am I no one now? Does this mean there's no one or whatever? But really, this apparent death is the death of the questioner. So this just doesn't even come up. Is there anyone? Is there no one? I mean, it's just not even a thing.
Okay, right. Was there still, just last question, even when that current non-happening happened, whatever, was there still a draw to like looking at countless YouTubes, or did that just go away, or is that a gradual going away?
Oh, do you mean with this apparent death?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, this whole interest in such things just totally collapsed. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, boom.
I mean, there may occasionally be, well, I can't even say this, to be honest. I mean, if for example, I wanted to see how someone was, I'd just message them or something. There's not this, I mean, this obsession with the videos is just totally gone. Yeah. I mean, yeah, just, pretty boring. I'd rather watch some drama on Netflix or something.
Korean drama, yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right. That kind of pretty much got chopped. Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks, Izzy.
Thank you. Okay, in the chat, is the person's love similar to the love of this boundless, or one is conditioned and the other is free but empty? Well, I mean, what appears to be happening is unconditional love. So one can't distinguish that, of course, or separate it up. It's just boundlessly everything. So one can't even say, oh no, that so-called personal love is not this. I mean, there's nothing that's not this, so to speak. So what appears to be happening is everything. So the so-called personal love between a relationship that is conditioned, let's say, is just what appears to be happening. And that is boundless unconditional love. I mean, this would perhaps assume, one could say, that there is even a personal love in the first place, and then another thing that is the boundless love or the ultimate love or whatever. But no, this so-called love or relationship between two people or whatever is just what appears to be happening, and that is boundless unconditional love. In the same way as a body sitting, breathing and listening to Izzy apparently is also boundless unconditional love. So yeah. I mean, the person would want love to be labelled. Is this personal love or friendship love? Do they love me back? But yeah, I mean, all there is love, one could say. Gosh, I must be in a very loving mood tonight. Usually it's just energy, but tonight it's love, so you're lucky. What about hell and heaven? What the religions mean by that? Well, of course, nothing. There is no meaning behind that or anything, of course. Yeah, I mean, one could say as a story, these things of hell and heaven just emerge out of whatever, fantasies, of course, dreams, so to speak. That there is somewhere else that is better. I mean, usually people fantasize over heaven, not hell. Usually hell is feared, of course. But this would at the same time just seem to represent the loop the person feels itself to be in. Desperately longing for heaven and desperately avoiding hell. But of course they're neither. There is nowhere waiting afterwards or whatever, whether it's heaven or hell or a second life or no.
Hi, Izzy.
Hi, Jason.
Hey. So I'm here, like, I feel like I'm me, whatever, I'm real. But then I don't know, like, what or who this I thing is, or even what real is, or really what anything is. But there is some kind of sense of things happening to me or me deciding things, making things happen, right? That kind of doership experiencer thing is going on. And it seems, again, I don't know if it's real or not, but it seems it's definitely going on, right? So when I hear it never happens, it's like, well, it does happen. It might stop happening, but it's definitely happening. I don't know. I don't know.
One could say this is the surprise in many ways, so to speak, or the funny thing, it seems, with this so-called death. It's just surprising, yeah, one could say, that actually what once felt so real, like you say, just never actually happened. And it's just, yeah, the surprise, one could say. I mean, like you, yeah, I expected this too. There would be an end, so to speak. And then, okay, that seemed real. And then it stopped. And then there was whatever. But yeah, this was the surprise. One can't even look back and draw the line, so to speak.
There's not even a real stopping.
Oh, totally not. I mean, there is no stopping. No.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, in the chat, silence is also nothing appearing as that, or talking has some kind of energy that's that silence doesn't have. Well, yeah, of course, in the first one. So-called silence is also just what appears to be happening. I mean, as a turn of phrase, one could say talking, or different people, or talking, or different atmospheres have different energies or whatever. But it doesn't, there's no depth to that, of course. So I think I said in the last meeting, this sort of holy silence. I mean, the person would probably prefer silence over talking, so to speak, perhaps in terms of this message, being able to inquire, to figure out that there is no one, or whatever. But no, I mean, silence is what appears to be happening. Talking is what appears to be happening. There's no hierarchy to either.
And Izzy, just on that point, thought, what appears to be happening, thoughts that just pop into the mind, just appear to be happening. They're nothing. They just appear to be happening.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, yeah, so-called thinking just seems to be an apparent function of the body, one could say.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking, feeling, watching, listening, whatever, yeah. There's already no one doing that.
And say dismissing, a thought comes in, it gets dismissed, whether that's after a slight recognition of the thought or whatever. It's all in the same category. They're nothing.
Yeah, well, of course, I mean, this dismissal of a thought, so to speak, is impossible. I mean, this would be the dream, so to speak. The so-called dream would be that I could even acknowledge a certain thought and dismiss another thought, as if I am listening or aware, or somehow behind the thoughts, or that the thoughts are happening too. But there's just no one there. There is no one. So thoughts just appear to be happening. And that I will dismiss that. It just appears to be another thought. There is no one behind that.
And when there is the, shall we say, quote unquote, falling away, so those thoughts don't happen, do happen. How does that work?
Well, I mean, neither, in this sense of energetically, there is just no longer this sense of any of the thoughts happening to anyone, or even happening at all. There just is no experience. So thoughts are just what appear to be happening, but there's no one that could describe that. I mean, one can't sit here and say, oh, it's like this, it's like that, it's da da da, because there's just what appears to be happening. So a thought of, I wish I didn't have that thought. I mean, they're just this chatter. There's just no one that's controlling that, or that's listening, so to speak.
So the thought may still pop, but it's not being listened to.
Well, I mean, with this so-called death, all of these sort of neurotic types of thoughts just seem to just die, or just
Die.
or just relax. I mean, as a habit, if someone was constantly practicing inquiry, so to speak, these sorts of thought mechanisms just seem to just run on themselves. But with this so-called death, I mean, that whole game just collapses. So the thoughts just seem to just perhaps keep running and just fall away. I mean, whatever. the person is almost this sense that the thoughts are constantly being reinforced, constantly staying on top of them, constantly thinking, I'm thinking, Dola. No, there's just thinking.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, in the chat. It's like we've been talked into believing we are living stories with beginnings, middles, and ends. But when did the person begin? One could say so in this sense, yeah. But of course, I mean, yeah, exactly. This is the so-called apparent illusion that there even could be a beginning, middle, and end. And yeah, but yeah, like you say, when did the person begin? Well, it didn't. And there just is no one. So no one ever started, and so of course no one can ever end. And yeah, I remember when this was starting to be heard more, one could say, that it did feel a little like, I mean, this was when I was still alive, so to speak, but it still felt like, yeah, I mean, well, to the person, it felt as if I'd been sold a lie. What do you mean I'm not me? But of course, then the person would then create a whole story around this. Why does this lie come up? Why, who created this illusion? But of course, with this so-called death, then this whole game collapses. There isn't even an illusion. There's no one to complain about it.
It sounds like you're saying what's happening isn't happening. It's like something,
Yeah.
how could something end? How could something end if it never started?
Yeah, totally, exactly.
But then it's happening, but it's not happening.
Well, I mean, as in what appears to be happening, this apparent Zoom meeting is neither happening for sure, nor is it not happening for sure. So hence it's just what appears to be happening. It's just what seems to be happening. But this sense to be me, it just never happens.
I mean, it's happening.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, if there seems to be a body that claims this is happening, and that's just what appears to be happening. But
Yeah.
energetically, there is no actual contraction, of course. But a
Well,
body. Sorry, go on.
no, I just don't know about this whole contraction thing, because there's like energetic stuff that happens, like even this laughing that happens. I feel like it's just like some energetic expression or whatever. And there's like Kundalini energy stuff in the body, moves around, does all this stuff, whatever. And there was one time I was doing a Zoom with Andreas, and the the contraction, whatever, like drained out, like the sense, the tension, like not even the muscular tension, like deeper than muscular tension, just like drained out, zoom, right? Emptiness, blah, 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 for, you know, however long, 5 minutes or something. And then all this like zoop came right back in again.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. So on one hand, it's like, yeah, I understand everything you're saying. But on the other hand, it's like, this doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, what's being suggested, it is totally energetic, so to speak. So, or what appears to be happening is totally energetic. So, well, this has nothing to do with anything, but of course, there's nothing to do with, oh, if I get this or understand the words or whatever. I mean, no, this apparently contracted sense can just, yeah, like you say, just seem to just totally die. But then, of course, with these so-called glimpses, someone seems to survive that and come back.
Yeah, it's like dying and being resurrected or something.
Yeah, one could say so, yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, I like talking to you. Thanks. I don't know what else to say right now, but thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, Izzy. It's weird that the simple fact of having the feeling of being a person can seem so real, and that in this position there seems to be all the possible duels imaginable. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So this sense to be someone is this apparent dualistic sense, so to speak, that there is me and there is this Zoom call. So yeah, of course there is neither, but me will project itself onto, well, everything, so to speak. So yeah, just the sense of me is the sense of duality. There's me and the thoughts, me and the feelings, me and the universe, me and the unconditional love. Yeah, of course, this is the dream. There is no me. But yeah, this is the funny thing in many ways, this so-called collapse. Just, of course, all these things then collapse. Because, of course, there was never an actual Zoom meeting. It was just this so-called sense to be me that seemed to be creating all this stuff, so to speak, one could say. I mean, this just never happens. So we're going off on a bit of a story there. It's too much for the me. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, but everything, so to speak, is too much for me. Me, this so-called me, is the sense that things are too much. Life is tough, so to speak. Life is difficult or whatever. And then this so-called loop this seems to be this loop. On the one hand, I desperately long to be free of that, to have to get rid of that, to be free. But on the other hand, that is what I deeply fear. I want to be free, but not too free. I want to survive in the freedom. I mean, and yeah, energetically, of course, me fears this, totally, so to speak. I mean, it longs for it, but it fears it. And really, energetically, with this so-called death and so-called glimpses, so to speak, this can be very confronting. And the person can suddenly realize, so to speak, actually, it probably doesn't want this. But it still does. So this loop just, yeah. Apparently. So the fall will never happen to anybody, whether you come across this message or not. Yeah, totally. Yeah. No fall ever happens. So it has nothing to do with anything. There just is no collapse. I mean, the person would probably think, if I listen to this message, my chances of dying or collapsing are higher. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't even say that there is more chance, so to speak, on this call versus the everyday Joe that's never heard of this message. I mean, neither is more or less likely, because there just is nothing to happen. It's just that coming to these meetings might stop happening. And may just be, as I said earlier, just the everyday Joe or whatever. This is so hopeless. Totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's not claiming to be otherwise. Nothing will happen. Are you for real? Well, of course not for real, but no, nothing will happen. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if this is heard, so to speak, again, this can be well, yeah, crying face. Yeah, this can be, well, on the one hand, this can be great, so to speak, but on the other hand, this can be the deepest fear, let's say, that actually nothing has to happen or could happen. Because the person will always be this sense of next, and is always hoping in the future that something will happen. And really, that seems to be keeping the person safe. That it's not this. Okay, you just killed my personal hope that things will be good at both levels, spiritual and material. Well, I could apologize. I mean, yeah, this is the hope of the person, so to speak, that one day things will be good. And that, of course, the biggest hope is that I will be there when they are. But of course, I mean, this is a total lose-lose for the person. So the person hopes one day things will be good and I will be there when they are. but of course the suggestion is that things are already good, but of course good in this sense that things are naturally okay, but of course there is no one who will ever know or experience that. Yeah, total lose-lose.
So Izzy, so feelings obviously fall into the same category because no one experiences feelings per se. It's just the body.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I was at Tony at the weekend. It was the first time I'd been to one of his meetings. But a girl got up and asked a question. She goes, "Tony, I don't mean to be. I'm not being smart, but when I ask you this question, can you not say that it's energy?" So she asked the question. she asked the question. But where do feelings come from? What are feelings? And Tony goes, blah 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 blah, and it's energy. Yeah, well, she didn't get what she was looking for.
Oh yeah, well of course. Yeah, I mean no so-called person that ever goes to meetings will ever get what it's looking for.
I don't know what she was looking for, but she wasn't looking for the answer to include
Oh.
energy. That was funny.
Okay, do you find life funny? If not, how do you receive this happenings? Well, no, there is no one. And there is no life. I mean, this would be the total duality. That there could even be someone that could find life anything. Painful, funny, joyous, whatever. No. So, and yeah, no one receives what appears to be happening. There is no other end, so to speak, or there is not even one. Yeah. There's just what appears to be happening, with no receipt of that, no reaction, no experience, no awareness. I mean, the list could go on. There just is no one already, so to speak. But yeah, I think that's probably quite a good place to leave it this evening. So yeah, I mean, this is wholeness, of course. Sitting for an hour or so, an apparent body sitting for an hour with Izzy, listening, speaking, whatever, is just naturally whole and complete already, so to speak. Okay, yeah, so the next meeting is this Saturday at 11 a.m. British summertime. And then next week's will be posted on Facebook or the website or whatever. I am still taking places for Brighton in July, at the end of July, Brighton in the UK. So it's the last weekend of July. Yeah, if you'd like to come. Well, there's still spaces, so you can just email me. Everyone's welcome, of course. And then in August, I'm doing another Zoom intensive. and all the details are online, but that will be 2 days of Zoom basically, but longer, so 4 hours a day, the real deep dive. So yeah, again, if you'd like to come to that, just send me an email. Everyone is welcome. Okay, but apart from that, take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and see you soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
Izzy.
Thank you, Izzy.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.